When I first arrived in this illusionary realm, at that time, Miao Ying had just finished battling the ferocious beast. However, her father was scolding her for assembling the Star Soul mech without asking, and instructed her not to encounter the ferocious beast in the future. I was quite curious. When I witnessed this scene, I was surprised that her illusion existed during her childhood. How did this woman grow up to become one of the 4 holy guardians of Shishui Kingdom? With this question in mind, I checked the secret realm system for answers. The result of my investigation was somewhat shocking because according to the system, this illusion has already repeated 13 times. How could a powerful saint-level general be trapped by their illusion for so long? However, I soon realized a possibility. With her strength, there is no illusion that she couldn't overcome. She simply doesn't want to wake up yet. Since that's the case, I don't need to use my administrative privileges to forcefully break the illusion. Maybe I can dig up some more exciting clues later. So, I followed the footsteps of the father and daughter and arrived at a place filled with cherry trees. In the middle of the cherry tree forest, there was a quiet mountain grave. As I approached to take a closer look, I learned that this grave belonged to Huang Miao Ying's mother, Huang Yizu. Just as I finished observing, the father and daughter coincidentally arrived at the same place, carrying some offerings in their hands. However, it was strange that Huang Miao Ying's father immediately closed the gate after entering the formation. At the same time, Miao Ying, who witnessed this scene, asked her father when he could teach her about formations. Upon hearing his daughter's question, her father gently touched her forehead and asked why she suddenly wanted to learn about formations. Miao Ying replied that if she learned formations, she wouldn't have to wait for the cherry tree to bloom every year for visiting her mother. She could come anytime she missed her mother. Hearing his daughter's words, her father showed a somewhat troubled expression, but quickly regained his composure. While they were performing the ritual, I wasn't just sitting there. I witnessed everything that happened, and then I recalled the formation that was set up with sealing techniques. If I remember correctly, I encountered something similar in the Imperial Tomb of a secret realm in my last life. Based on that, I speculated that the man before me might be the legendary mysterious formation master. Who was responsible for sealing the Imperial Tomb? I speculated that the person eventually exhausted their own vitality to suppress the Imperial Tomb of Secret Realm. Rumor has it that the sealed Star Soul mech inside the tomb contains an immensely powerful and terrifying soul. Once it finds a master, the entire continent will be engulfed in endless war. To prevent such a situation, the guardians of the tomb have shouldered this mission for hundreds of years. Based on the current time in the illusion, the man before me is likely the person I encountered in my last life. I hope it's not just a coincidence. Meanwhile, after completing the basic ritual, he has asked Miao Ying to give him some moment alone with his wife. After his daughter walked away, he sat quietly on the ground and took out a letter from his pocket that filled with words. After softly reading the contents of the letter in front of his wife's grave, he burned it as an offering. While it was burning, he kept saying how he had missed her every moment in these years. This deeply moving scene touched my heart. This just an illusionary world. My actions here are merely for gathering information. Shouldn't considered eavesdropping at all? So, I turned around and took out half a watermelon. While collecting information, I enjoyed eating my watermelon. Meanwhile, on the other side of the cherry forest, Miao Ying, who was sent away by her father wandering around, and encountered a huge wild boar. Normally, a little girl would be afraid in such a situation, but this mischievous girl had 100 ways to cook a wild boar on her mind. So, she jumped out fearlessly. This scene startled the wild boar. On the other hand, I guess the boar had never imagined that it would be taken down by such a little child. While she was hunting the wild boar, I had almost gathered all the required information. It turns out that the descendants of the Tomb Guardians have 10 years of freedom to marry and have a family. The person before me, Sukong Jing, is the young successor of the current generation. The turning point of the story happened when he traveled to the capital of Shishui Kingdom. At the poetry gathering on the Luo Bridge, he and Miao Ying's mother, Huang Yizu, fell in love at first sight. Soon after, they made a lifelong commitment under a cherry tree. Sukong Jing even gave up his duty as a tomb guardian and decided to spend his life with Huang Yizu. But their happiness didn't last long. After a period of peaceful days, they were soon discovered by the Huang family and hunted down. When they fled to the Shikong Mountains, Huang Yizu suffered severe injuries, leading to premature childbirth. After giving birth to Miao Ying, she passed away. Later, Sukong Jing set up the sealing tomb formation nearby, and hidden away with Huang Miaoying. They have my condolence as an audience for this storytelling illusion. Was the Huang family of Shishui Kingdom such a despicable presence so many years ago? After digesting all the information, Miao Ying also returned with her trophy. Based on the current development, I can't see any problems that would require Miao Ying to go through 13 illusionary cycles. So, I decided to go back home with them and see for myself. After they returned home through the ceiling tomb formation, I discovered a maid standing in their courtyard, bound with handcuffs and shackles. Strangely, when Miao Ying saw her, she affectionately called her Chun Xiang. It was surprising to see such high magic level of restraints on her hands and feet. I wonder what she did to be treated like this. As I carefully recalled her name, a person I was extremely wary of in my previous life suddenly came to mind. If it's really her, then I now know the reason why Miao Ying want to stay in this illusionary world after 13 cycles.